There is so much frustration around the rules of engagement. What is a moral way of fighting a war? A lot of frustration because there's a lot of misunderstanding. People use slogans, they use words without understanding. What are you talking about? What does this mean? How does it make sense? So the first question that you need to ask, if you have a liberal mind, is war immoral? If war is immoral, then everything after that is doubly immoral. If going to war is immoral, then there's no such thing as a moral war. Now, what's the point of conducting yourself properly or morally in war if the war itself is immoral? War itself was never immoral. God never said, "Thou shalt not make war." Of course, there are reasons for war that are legitimate, and there are reasons that are not legitimate. But to say that war is wrong, so no one can ever defend themselves, no country can ever be safe from attack. No. So, in fighting a war, we try to be moral. In Hebrew, they call it taharas haneshek, to fight a moral war. What is moral in war? So let's look at it with open eyes and understand what we're talking about. For example, what is this idea that a response or a reaction should be proportional? People are very upset because the reaction of Israel is disproportionate. Disproportionate. I'm not sure what that means even. It's not fair. It's not fair that we're winning the war. We shouldn't be winning the war. Yeah, but it's got to be proportional. But if we keep the proportions exactly 50-50, we'll never win. There'll be no winners, no losers. It'll just go on and on and on indefinitely as it's doing. So what exactly does proportionate mean? If they massacred X number of children, we should massacre that number of children, and then we're even. If they molested X number of women, we should. That's totally absurd. So we're going to sit and keep a tally. Oh, you killed 10. We only killed 5. That is so immature and irresponsible. It makes no sense whatsoever. So where does the notion, even the argument that it should be proportionate, where does that come from? The original idea of a proportionate response never meant proportionate to how many people you kill, that's how many people the enemy can kill. That's not what it meant. It never meant that. The only way to end the war is with disproportionate force that discourages the enemy from fighting anymore. Then you have peace. So peace is the objective. Proportionate means do the damage necessary to bring peace. Proportionate to the need for peace. Meaning, if by killing one person you can cause the end to war and there will be peace and you will not be attacked again for 40 years, if you can do that by killing one person, then you can kill one but not two. Because the second person was not necessary for peace. Now you're just being vengeful. If it takes killing 2 people so that there'll be peace in the region, then kill 2 people but not 3. That's proportionate. Proportionate to the need for peace, not proportionate to what the other side did, which makes so much sense and it sounds so moral. If, in fact, you want peace and you attained peace by killing the number of people you've killed until today, then why would you kill more? Makes sense. But now consider the opposite. Let's say I have a principle, I don't know where it came from, but I have this intuitive sense that more than 11,000 people, you got to stop. You got to stop. 11,000 is already the limit. If you do that, you kill 11,000 people, and you say, that's it, I can't kill it. No more, no more. And you call a ceasefire. You have absolutely no justification for killing 11,000 people because they died in vain. If you've killed 11,000 and there's still no peace, you may not stop out of respect for the 11,000 people that died. Continue until you get to peace, so that everyone who died for a cause, not in vain. So you see how immoral an idea can become when you oversimplify, make it simplistic and technical and meaningless, and then people die that need not have died. If you call a ceasefire after 11,000 people were killed, you know there's going to be another war within 5 years. And then the killing starts again, and more people will die. So a proportionate response means do exactly what is necessary to bring peace, not something that won't bring peace. And don't stop unless there's peace. It seems like Israel is determined to bring peace. So is it proportionate? It is proportionate. If you will not surrender and promise to be peaceful for 40 years, after all the buildings have been bombed, then we got to keep going. We got to find what that tipping point is beyond which the enemy will not be able to tolerate, and therefore they will truly give up on the idea of harming you or attacking you or eliminating you. That's what happened in World War II. Germany thought they could do whatever they wanted. They found out they can't. We've had peace for 70 years, 80 years. Japan thought that they could become a major player on the world scene. They found out they couldn't, had peace 80 years, prospering. So that's what needs to happen here. Proportionate to peace. And we're committed to that completely. We don't even have to say it. As soon as there is peace, all activity will stop. Not a single person will be hurt. But if we stop before there's peace, all those who are hurt will have died in vain, and the fighting will start again as soon as the armies rearm themselves and recover. We'll be back to war. So think clearly, think Jewishly. The Jewish principles of rules of engagement is number one, win the war quickly. Quickly. You don't want children growing up knowing war. So if the war goes for more than a year, you've ruined a whole generation of children. You got to win the war quickly. 6 days is the outer limit. And you have to win the war decisively so that you are guaranteed that there will not be another war for at least 40 years. That's a moral way of fighting a war.